Hi everyone, Miss Kramer here. Today we're going to be working on our Still Life post assessment. Post means our second drawing. The first drawing you did all by yourself. You might remember doing that for us. Now I get to teach you some big kid drawing tricks that artists do. So we're going to work on that today. So, a couple things. First of all, you're going to need to get a blank piece of paper. If you don't have a blank piece of paper, it's okay. But if you can get blank paper, that's what artists like to use the best. You're also going to need Mr. Pencil. Make sure you have Mr. Pencil ready for us today. And then you're also going to need a box of crayons. So just crayons today, whatever you have. So today I'm going to show you how we're going to draw this to make it look realistic. So this is the still life picture that you guys drew for us once already, and I'm going to teach you a few things about how to draw this like an artist today. So first thing we're going to do is, first of all, some of you might have drawn the first one. If you drew it and it was teeny tiny like this, we're going to try and draw this as a little bit bigger because we want it to look realistic and we want it to fill up the whole paper. So if we just put a little teeny tiny bit and right in the middle, it's not going to look as realistic as it could. So I'm going to show you a couple of tricks for that. First thing, when you look at a picture as an artist, you always want to look to see what's in the front. We always draw front first. So whatever's in the very front of this whole picture, we're going to draw first. So if you look at this, see how the grapes are laying on the table in front of the bowl? We're going to draw the grapes first, front first. Now, to get this to kind of look realistic and fill up our paper, we're actually going to use our thumb to help us. So we're going to use our thumb, and because if you think about a grape, it's about the size of your thumb. So I'm going to look at my grapes, and I'm going to see if I were to draw a line right down the middle. It looks like the end of the grapes is about in the middle, and see how they're laying on the table. So we're going to just draw a row of grapes to start with. So I'm going to look at my paper. I'm going to go right here in the middle with my eyes and just kind of figure out where the middle is. Now, notice how the grapes aren't touching the bottom of the paper. So we're going to come just below or just above the bottom, just a little bit. And I'm going to put my thumb, and I'm left-handed, so this might look a little weird. So I'm going to take my thumb, and I'm going to turn it upside down and just trace my thumb. So I'm actually going to do that with marker so you can see it. You're using pencil, Mr. Pencil first, okay? So I'm going to draw mine. So now I'm going to draw, it looks like a little letter U or a smiley face. So once I draw that, then I'm going to finish the circle. So it's about the size of my thumb. Now, the grapes lay on the table, so I need to make a row of grapes touching. So I'm just going to make a row of circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe a couple more over here. 5, 6, 6 or 7. That's a good amount. And then we're making those so they look like they lay on the table, so nice and flat. And then we're going to do our overlapping. Overlapping is when it looks like something's hiding behind something else. So I'm going to draw just a circle on top just to show you the difference. So right here, I'm just going to draw a circle right on top. And I'll draw another circle right next to it, touching. Now watch. Overlapping is like this. If I draw a half circle, see how it looks like it's hiding behind the other grape? So I'm going to build a bunch of these circles and maybe do a half circle, another big circle, another half circle, half circle. So I want this side to be just a little bit taller because it looks like the end of the bunch is at the right over here. So I want the right side to be a little bit shorter and the left side to be a little bit taller. So I'm just putting a bunch of grapes in there. And then there's actually a stem sticking out right here. So if you just draw a little rectangle, and that's going to show that there's a stem because grapes grow in a bunch and they have a bunch of little stems that connect all the grapes together. So we want to have that stem in there. So once you have your grapes all set, now we're going to look at the bowl because that's right behind the grapes. We're going to use eraser first. So get your pencil, eraser. If you don't have eraser at the end of your pencil, try and get a colored eraser to use. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to draw the bowl. And if you look at the bowl, the bottom of the bowl kind of just curves out from the grapes here. So I'm going to take my eraser and just come up here and just draw a little curve line. Just a little curve line up like that. Kind of looks like the letter J. Okay, just real simple letter J. Now I'm going to do the other side, and I'm going to come out from where the grapes are just before the stem, and I'm going to draw a line up, just curve it a little bit. So let me draw those two with my marker so you can see. So this one kind of looks like the letter J a little bit, and then this one's just going to come up right here. Now once we have that, then we need to draw the top of the bowl. And bowls are round, so we're actually going to create what's called an illusion. This is one of the artist tricks I was telling you about. So what we're going to do here is, and I like to use my eraser first because this can get a little tricky. I don't want it to be straight across because that would be like a box. This is a bowl. Bowls are round. So I'm actually just going to curve this line down just a little bit. Just a little curve. Just drop it down just a tiny bit, just to make it look like it's bending just slightly. So I'm going to go here, bend just a little bit. Now see how it has a little bit of a curve to it? So then that's going to create the illusion that this is a round bowl. Big kid artist trick. All right, so once you have that, now we're going to look at the bowl. And inside the bowl, you'll see there's overlapping, all tucked in there. This is actually a kiwi. I know it's really hard to tell, but it's a kiwi. So we're actually going to draw the kiwi because that's in the front. And whenever we are looking at something, we always draw what's in front first. Front first, always think as an artist. So I'm going to do the kiwi, and that's just right here in the middle. And if you look, it has a little bit of an angle, and it just looks like an oval. So just like a little oval right in the middle. And then we're going to draw the apple next to it. Now, if you feel more comfortable, there's circles and stuff, but you want to make sure you get the right size. So I'm actually going to use my eraser first for my apple. And my eraser, I'm going to start with my kiwi and bring it over till it crashes into the edge of the bowl. Crash. Overlapping. So if I don't like it, I can wipe it away and I can try again. So I'm going to come in here, bring it around, crash. So then I have my apple. So now I'm going to bring this around, bring it around, crash. Now I'm going to show you a big kid trick for an apple. The stem. If you draw a little smiley face at the top of the stem, it's a little, and then go up and make the stem. It'll look like it's going down into that hole. It's an illusion for artists. So see how the stem looks like it's going into that hole now? Now, one of the things I almost forgot, the kiwi, if you've ever seen a kiwi, it has fuzzies on it. So we're actually going to take lines, little tiny dash lines, and we're going to make little dashes all over our kiwi. That creates texture. So it looks like it's fuzzy then. So that's our texture. And then once we have our kiwi and our apple, now we're going to do our orange. And the orange does the same thing. It crashes into the kiwi. So I'm going to actually start here at the bowl. I'm going to crash it into the kiwi, bring it up past the kiwi, and back around. So you can actually see right in here. Here's the orange, crashes into the kiwi, comes around, then there you go. The orange is on that side of the bowl. A little trick with oranges and lemons and limes. They're citrus fruits, so they actually have dots. So you're going to actually put little tiny dots all over your orange. That's a texture that we use on citrus fruits. So take your pencil, just make little dots. Be nice to Mr. Pencil. Don't smash his head on the table too hard. And then if you look, there's actually a spot where the orange was attached to the tree. You can just color that in, a little black circle, and color that in. That's totally fine. Now, our next part is our lime. And our lime is like an oval. So we're going to come up, see how it crashes? It starts from the orange and then comes down and crashes into the apple. So, and it looks kind of like an oval shape. So we're going to do that with our eraser first and then bring it down, crash. And then you'll notice there's a stem right at the top. You can just make a little square or rectangle at the top. And then this is a citrus fruit, so it's got to have that texture. So go ahead and put your texture on there. Now, I know it's kind of hard to tell the difference between the lemon and the orange right now, but once we color it, then that'll make sense, okay? So we have our bowl with all our fruit in it. Now we're going to look and see where our orange and our apple are on the table. Now, right now, we're not going to draw the table. Table's always the last thing for an artist. Always, always. So we're going to draw the orange, and we're going to look at the orange and see how it just kind of comes across from the grapes. Might be up just a little bit. So I'm going to look at my grapes, and I'm going to start at the bottom because I know that I needed to have it somewhere close to the orange or the grapes here. So I'm going to draw the bottom of my circle first and then bring it right around. Nice big circle for my orange. Now I'm going to trace it. You're using pencil first. And then because this is a citrus fruit, what texture does it need? Dots. Be nice to Mr. Pencil. Dots, 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 dots. All over it. Be nice. And then once you have that done, now we're going to come over and look at our apple. And that is on the right side. The orange was on the left side. Now we're going to do the apple on the right side. So we're going to use our eraser again. We're going to draw a nice big circle. And it's kind of close to the bottom of the grapes, just like the other one. So it should work out pretty well for that. So circle. And then we're going to trace this right around. Trace. And then if you look at this apple, you can see the stem is sticking out right here. So we have a little stem at the top. Looks a little different than this one because the way the apple is turned, you don't see that inside like we do this one. So just a little bit different for that apple, but that's okay. And then the last thing we're going to do is create the table. Because right now it looks like everything's flying and fruit doesn't fly. So if you look at this, we're going to do our overlapping again, and we're going to draw the table line. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to see how the table crashes into the apple. So I'm going to bring it in, crash. Now you got to jump. Jump, 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 jump. Crash into the bowl. Jump, 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 jump. Crash into the orange. Jump, jump, jump. All the way off the page. So now we have our fruit sitting on the table. So this is how artists create illusion, where they're making it look like it's real. So next we're going to get ready to color. So get your crayons out and I'll be right back with you. Okay, well, I went ahead and colored some of my pictures, so don't freak out that yours isn't colored yet and mine is. It's okay. I just wanted to be able to show you what this is going to look like when it's all done. So first of all, when I color an orange, what color am I going to color an orange? Orange, right? So I want to make sure I look and see which ones are the oranges because I don't want to accidentally color this one orange because that's not the orange. So I want to make sure I look and see which ones I have the texture on, and those are my oranges. Now, remember, I have another one that has a texture, but that's the lemon, and that's how we're going to tell those apart by their color. So I want to tell you a little bit about the colors. First of all, as an artist, we always want to try and be as realistic as possible. So this is a kiwi, and it's a little different color than you would think. It's actually green and brown mixed together. So we actually take the green first. Whoops, green first, and you're going to color the kiwi green, and then you're going to color brown on top of it. And that what that does is it kind of creates that more realistic look to the kiwi skin. So the kiwi kind of has a brown and a green hue mixed together. So we'll just mix those two together. Now, one thing I want to talk to you about mixing crayons, it's really cool. This is the artist trick. Really cool is that when you mix crayons when you put them on top of one another, they will mix together. So, and the reason why is it's called friction. So if you rub your hands super, super fast, super, super fast, super, super fast together, it gets warm. Well, the same thing happens with crayons. So I actually colored this apple yellow-green because that's the color we're looking for. It's not a red apple. It's not a green apple. It's actually a yellow-green. So you're going to find a yellow-green. So this is a yellow-green crayon that I have in my box. If you don't happen to have a yellow-green crayon, I actually need you to take a yellow and a green, and you're going to mix them together. And it's just like the name is, yellow, green. Yellow goes first. So I'm going to put yellow on my apple over here to show you. I'm going to make my own yellow-green. So I'm going to take my yellow, color that first. Make sure you're doing a nice big kid job. Take your time, stay inside your shapes. So I'm going to color my apple yellow, but because I want it to be yellow-green, I'm going to create my own yellow-green. Now I'm going to take the green and it's going to melt with the yellow. So now I'm going to take my green crayon and put it right on top of that yellow, and I create my own yellow-green. So I don't need to have a yellow-green crayon. I can make my own. So if you look at this apple I did with yellow and green, mixed them together myself, and then this one is out of the box, yellow-green. They both look yellow-green, might be a little different, but it's still perfect for what we want. So the next thing is the grapes. The grapes get to be a little tricky. A lot of students think the grapes should be purple, but they're not purple. They're actually red violet. Red violet. So it's a little bit different color. You'll have to look, and it kind of looks like a purple in your crayon basket, but you have to read it. It says red violet. That's the color you want. If you don't have a red violet, what can an artist do? Make their own. You can take a red and you take a purple, which is another word for violet, and you mix those together. Now with the grapes, I'm going to show you the big kid thing to do though. A lot of times students, I don't know why, but students sometimes will do this. They'll take their beautiful drawing and then they'll just scribble over their grapes all at once like that. Ah! We don't do scribbling. Woo! As artists. Artists color. Little baby kids, 3-year-old maybe, scribble still. Nah, you guys. You guys are getting to be big kids now. So we're going to use our crayon, and you are actually going to color every single grape. I know. Miss Kramer, do I have to? As an artist, yes, you do. So you're going to color every single grape. You want to give every grape that special attention that you gave it when you drew it. Every grape is special. So you need to make each one feel like you're taking the time to be the artist that created them, and you're coloring each one. Now, if you don't have a red violet, then you can use red first, and then purple is another word for violet. You can use your red violet. Make your own red violet. Now, I need to color my stem of my grapes. I didn't color that, so I'm going to color that brown. And then when we have this done, big kid coloring, big kid drawing. The table is actually brown. I know sometimes on the computer it doesn't look like it's brown, but it's brown. And the bowl is white. We leave the bowl white. No color in the bowl. If you make a rainbow bowl, then I'm not going to be able to tell that you are seeing what I'm seeing. So make sure you leave the bowl white. The background you can also leave white, even though it does look like it's a little bit gray in the picture. So if you want to color the background gray, that's totally okay. But make sure you leave that bowl white, okay? So whichever way you'd like to go, with the gray background or the white background, it's totally fine. So once you have this all done, make sure you take a picture of it and send it to us in your seesaw so we can see that amazing big kid artist trick work that you did for us. And if you look at your first one and then you look at your second one, you're going to see a big difference. So thank you for joining me. And until next time, keep drawing.